So over the winter, I had to replace my furnace. Now the new furnace there is a whole lot smaller than the new one because it's more of a garage heater style furnace, where my old one was a big household furnace that I just got the right price on when I first put the building together. And it's a way bigger than the new one. But when I put it up there, I didn't have all this railing and shelving and stuff there. So now I can't really get it down the staircase, which is the way I took it up. So now I'm going to have to find a way to lower that thing down from up there. Well, I think I found a good way to ease this thing down nice and easy. That works. All right, so now I'm back on checking the suspension, and I measured the wheelbase, and I found out I'm a 1/4 inch longer on the left side than I am on the right side, which with the problem I'm having wouldn't necessarily be a problem if the left front corner is the one that's forward, but if the left rear is the one that's back, then that's gonna make the rear end drive the car, which will cause me the kinds of problems that I'm having. So after doing a bunch of measuring, trying to measure the rear end to various points on the car, it does appear that the rear end is not square in the car. So I've got a few options. One of the options I'm looking at right now is I think maybe the replacement leaf springs I have might have a slight variance in length between here and the center hole, because I never had this problem until I swapped springs. But here's the bolt that normally goes through the center of the spring stack here. And the top of this is what locates the rear end on the spring. And then this goes around here, and then there's a spring pad in there, and it comes up through here and it takes up that space. So one thing I can do is I can make a new bolt that's concentric, or 2 bolts that are concentric, so I can make adjustments, and depending on how I turn them, I can adjust the rear end a little bit. Or I can mess with the spring pads that go in here, get creative with the spring pads so that the hole is actually a little off-centered. Or even get into the rear end housing itself. Because like on the rear end housing, they got those holes here. Those holes are also in the rear end housing. I can also play with those holes a little bit, and maybe, so I just have to see which way I'm going to go with it. Try to get the rear end squared up in the car, and that should make a huge difference in how the car handles. But before I do that, I'm actually going to loosen all of the spring bolts, or the U-bolts, and pull one forward while tightening everything, and then go to the other side and pull that back while tightening everything to see if it moves any at all, and see if I gain anything that way first. So I tried loosening all the U-bolts and pulling the one side forward and the other side back, and it moved enough that I'm almost exactly square now by the measurements I'm able to take. Now we just have to see if it'll stay that way after I go drive it a bit. If it doesn't, I'll probably have to make the concentric bolts. And I also did put the concentric bushing in the top of the kingpin on this side. Like here's one of the kingpins that I took out. This would be the bushings I took out. These are the ones I put in. So if you turn this, you can do it like this, turn them in different areas, different directions. If we turn it this way, it pushes the kingpin in, pushes the top of the kingpin in, giving it more negative camber. So I put it in there at full negative camber to see what I would end up with, and I ended up with 1 3/4 degrees. And I'm gonna try it right there.